Hello.
Everybody, Greg's being a hot mess, and y'all thought it was me, but it's full on Greg today. Greg made the drive to Anime, Oklahoma, so that's currently where he is. So you guys have me here for a little bit until Greg can get everything situated. But today we have Chuck Huber on for the Con Hour, and I am so excited for this conversation. Just from the pre-conversation that me and you had before we went live, I just feel like we're kindred spirits and we're just going to be BFFs. I really wish that I was in Anime, Oklahoma so I could come to see you. But I want to kind of dive into, Greg was talking to me earlier a little bit about it, and now all the voiceovers and stuff that you have done and being a voice actor. So how did you fall into that?
I have been an actor for my whole life. I remember very 8th grade, 7th grade, started acting, and it clicked. In Texas, they have these competitions. They're like little acting competitions. And I went to my first one in 9th grade, and I came home with a box full of trophies. And that sort of made my parents go, wait a minute, he's doing something successfully. We should encourage him to do that. And so I continued all through high school and went to college at DePaul University in Chicago, quit my 3rd year to work at the Steppenwolf and Goodman Theater and the Court Theater and a theater group called the Dog Boys, and just started my whole career really wonderfully in Chicago, and then went back to school and finished my degree, kids. I didn't waste 3 years of student loans to not get my degree. I finished. But then after that, I moved to Texas and was at a rehearsal. I'd started a theater company and started it with an improv show. And we were at rehearsals for this improv show. And I was warming up, and my buddy Brad Jackson, who plays Oolong in Dragon Ball Z, was like, you should go audition for this Dragon Balls thing. And I was like, Dragon Balls? That sounds like porn. And he was like, no, it's Japanese anime. And I was like, oh, so it's definitely porn. And he was like, no, it's not porn.
That's the audition
mostly
I got.
Kicking and fighting. And I went and I auditioned for this guy named Chris Sabat, and he was like, yeah, man, that was great. Do you want to record it right now? And I was like, record it right now? And he was like, yeah, you got the part. Let's just go ahead and lay it down. And I was like, all right, this seems fishy. So I kind of blew it off, but then I got a check 2 weeks later, and I was like, oh, okay. And as an actor, if you get paid to act, you're like, that's the best job in the world. So I threw myself pretty fully into it. First role was Garlic Jr. in Dragon Ball Z. The actual first role was one of his henchmen, Mustard. But Garlic was the big character. And then I did Android 17 and Emperor Pilaf and Android 13 and Master Shen and Mr. Shu and Invisible Guy, a bunch of the Dragon Ball Z stuff. And then Yu Yu Hakusho was Hiei and Dr. Stein and Soul Eater. And currently I am Kurogiri in My Hero Academia, which is the one the kids like nowadays. They're like, that's the best show ever. But yeah, so I've been doing it for 25 years, 23 years, something like that. I don't remember exactly when I started. It was 98, 99, somewhere around there.
Oh, okay. I always say the 90s was a good time. I was born in the 90s. It's the best time, in my personal opinion. Greg differs, but it to me is the best. So,
Greg likes the 70s and 80s like me, I bet.
I don't know. Greg's frozen.
He's still muted. He's like, this hotel Wi-Fi is terrible.
We've made him speechless. Hey, technically
It
you're on
was
your
just
hotspot.
Greg.
You can't be mad. You're on your hotspot. Yep.
Oh,
See?
and now he's disappeared.
Now he's gone completely. He is gone completely. So you mentioned that you went to school for 3 years and then you kind of took a break and then you went back. So what was your
Right.
degree in?
So I started with a degree, the acting degree, the BFA in acting, and I couldn't finish in the acting program. So I had to finish in the theater studies program, which made it easier because I was actually in a play at the time.
Oh,
I was
nice.
playing Bolingbroke and Richard II at the Goodman Theater, and I went back for my theater studies degree, which was, like I had to take a lighting course and a theater criticism course and some other stagecraft course. So I got a bunch of other classes in my fourth year of college that I wouldn't have gotten in the theater program. And I was already doing theater, so I didn't really need to do it in college, as it were.
Nice. I like it. And you mentioned that you came to Texas, so welcome. I am biased. It's the best state. I haven't left here, so.
I started in Chicago, and when my mom got remarried, we moved to Texas in 7th grade. So I went 7th through 12th grade here in Texas, spending the summers up north in Chicago, and then went back to school at DePaul for college, and then came back to Texas. So I've been a Texas person since 1983, I guess.
Yeah,
off and on, with like 10 years in Chicago. So I love Texas. Texas is amazing.
Oh, I love it. I was born and raised here. I haven't left. I left one time to go to Detroit for a 3-day wedding, and that was it. Like, I just don't venture out. I feel like Texas is good enough, because 12 hours, you're still in the same state. There's plenty to see. I'm good.
I'm just going to say, if Detroit was your first venture out of Texas, you may not have set yourself up for success.
I know I didn't. I know 100% I didn't. And
poor Detroit. I love Detroit. Detroit's amazing. It's fallen on some rough times with the car stuff, but it's a great city. Yeah. There's a great convention up there. I'm forgetting the name of it right now, but it is a banger convention. That is awesome. So I always love going back to Detroit. Yeah.
Well, so speaking of conventions, when did you kind of get into going to conventions?
My first convention was Funimation, which is the parent company. Well, it was now Sony. It's owned by Sony. But back in the day, Funimation was the anime company. And they sent me an email, or somebody talked to me in the office. They were like, "Hey, we'd like you to go to this convention." And I was like, "Okay, that sounds good." And they kind of gave me details. And I was like, "Hey, could I bring my family instead of flying, and you don't buy me a ticket and give me money for gas?" And they were like, "Sure." So I was like, "This is awesome." I was like, "Come on, we're going to go to this convention in California called San Diego Comic-Con."
Oh my gosh.
I know. Yes. So my very first convention was Comic-Con in San Diego. And I went thinking I was going to be like because I'd worked conventions before as an actor. You can get hired as an actor at conventions, that like a pipe fitting company will be like, "Our pipe fitters are terrible at talking. Let's hire some actors for the convention." Give them a script and have them pass out materials. So I thought I was going to the convention to like watch Yu Yu Hakusho. It was during Yu Yu Hakusho, right here. That's Hiei from Yu Yu Hakusho right over my shoulder. But I was like, I thought I was going to be like passing out flyers or like working like a grunt. I thought that's what they were bringing me out there for. And I got out there and they were treating me really weird. I had like a person to help me like do things and tell me where to go. Wow. And I was like, this is different. And I was like, well, what am I supposed to do? And they were like, well, your autograph signing is from 3 to 6. And I was like, my autograph signing? I was like, you guys don't know how fame works, because I'm not going to be signing any autographs. You're silly. And they were like, just show up here's where the table is. And they gave me a little map. And I was like, okay, I'll see you there at 3. And I was like, 3 to 6, easy peasy. So we went to like Coronado Island for the day. And I got back by like 2 and like showered and changed. And I went to the convention, found my way to the little table, and sat down at the table. I'm like, this is stupid. There's nobody here. And they were like, no, Chuck, that's your line. You got a big line. There was like a line wrapped around the whole room for me. God. And then they were like, they were like, release the hounds. And people started coming up to the table, and I started signing my first autographs ever in my life. And well, that's not true. I used to do children's shows at Casa Manana here in Fort Worth. And after the children's shows, you would stay in character. And I'd been the Scarecrow in The Wizard of Oz. So I had signed, autographs as the Scarecrow. Oh, yes, Sally, I'll sign yours. So I'd signed autographs like that before, but never for being me. And the first girl that came up was a big Hiei fan. She started crying. Like my very first autograph, she started crying. And I was like, I came out and gave her a big hug. And I was like, what is going? Why are you crying? And she was like, my dad and I watched all of Yu Yu Hakusho while he was dying of cancer. And Hiei was his favorite character. And I always wanted, and I was like, bawling, and she's bawling. And then we sat there and like, I must have taken 20, 30 minutes with the first person in line. There's like a line like 200 people long. And finally people were like, Chuck, you have to move on to the next person. And I was like, I can't love everybody the same. I was like, this is going to suck. And so I had to learn how to kind of like really give attention and be present for people. And it is a job. It's amazing. I certainly am very privileged to be able to do the job of going to conventions and meeting people and signing cast concrete. I've done construction work. I've done cleaned grease traps and BYOB strip clubs. I've done some really, really terrible jobs. Signing autographs is not one of them. It's air conditioned. People bring you water. Yeah. There are nice people who say nice things to you all day long. So it's really, as far as jobs go, it's not that hard. But you have to focus and make sure you're present, because you don't know when the next person who comes up is really having a moment with you. And you have to be present for that moment. And if you're not present to that, you can really hurt someone. And we all make mistakes. We make mistakes at the table occasionally. Some people make more mistakes than others, but you try to always be present and never be short. And you're there to represent this two-dimensional character in three-dimensional life that means so much to people. So you have the honor of doing that. So you got to rise to that occasion all day long while you're at a convention. You got to be there and deliver because some people are like, hey, sign my thing so I can sell it on eBay. And you're like, that's great, dude. And you get to kind of move on. But some people are like really emotionally attached to the interaction. So you have to be there for it. So it's a great gig. It's a great life. It's been an awesome career. I never, we get to be famous. Like, it's really got to have air quotes. Somebody called me a B-lister on Twitter the other day, and I was like, that is such a compliment. I was like, I really consider myself more like a D-lister, but you bumped me up 2 levels to B-lister. That is super sweet of you. Yeah. But, we get to feel what it's like to be recognized in that way while we're in the convention. But once we leave the convention, nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Well, being at the San Diego Comic-Con, which for me is like the mother of all Comic-Cons, it's my goal to get there, right? I want to just go as an attendee one year before I die would be lovely. But for you to go as a guest, and then you had like a line of people wanting your autograph, I just think that is like the coolest thing. And so being a B-lister, like, yes, like I would totally, it's a big compliment, man, I love it. But I like the way you said it so elegantly when you were like, you really have to be, present, because you really kind of can impact that person that you're giving the autograph to. And, like if it's the one that's going to go sell it on eBay, they don't really care. They don't really want the time. But then like the first lady, the one that it meant something really deep for her, I think it.
This one's not coming in good.
Greg, you're talking on the stream. Oh, there he goes.
I know. I took him off. I took Greg off. Greg has been silenced, you guys. Greg has been silenced.
Good for you. It's interesting because almost to a person, I don't know a single voice actor who doesn't have the same philosophy as I do when it comes to the table work. We all are so thankful to be doing it, and we all, we're a family. Families have squabbles from time to time, but a person, every single voice actor is there for that job for the fandom. They all know what that job is at the table, and they're really good at it. I mean, every single one of them has their different style, and we copy each other's styles. Or, there's all sorts of, you have prints, you have a backdrop, do you stand up, do you sit, how do you do the pictures, what's it, so there's a whole form and function to it, and everybody works really hard at it from the anime side for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, I can understand how you guys really make an impact, because you guys really do bring the characters to life. And so it's one of those, where I like the way that you said it. It was just like, you never know the impact that you're going to make with the person at the table, so always kind of being present, which I think is the right mindset to go into it with.
The hardest is like on a Sunday after a really long, grueling convention, and someone comes up to you and your voice is tired, and they're like, I really want to hear. And you're like, oh, I'm going to try to give it to you, but I'm so tired. And so like, if you really want to hear it, show up on a Friday. If you show up on a Sunday, you may not get the full blast.
Yeah, it's going to be the best on a Friday. Okay. Like for sure. Yeah, no, I love that though. And I love like your whole story and how you come in, and your like personality is just so much like mine. Like, life's too much fun to take seriously kind of thing. But I saw on your IMDb that you also are a writer. So what kind of things do you write?
Probably the work I'm most proud of, and we're coming up on the anniversary, is a film I wrote called Arbor Day the Musical, which is a musical comedy about September 11th.
Okay.
So and it is a film. Nobody agreed. Like, all the actors all had differing opinions about the day, and I had my own sort of version of the day. But it was about a theater director trying to put together a musical about September 11th, and it fails spectacularly. But it's got some really great songs in it. Firefighter Jesus is probably my favorite, but it's incredibly incisive into like the like the whole emotional tenor surrounding the events of that day. And I have a panel it's called the Fringe panel, and it's a late night panel at conventions. All I do is discuss conspiracy theories. And I can speak intelligently about any conspiracy theory. I can talk reptoids. I can talk hollow earth. I can talk flat earth. It doesn't matter. I can talk about all of them. They're, to me, more interesting and more fun than the Kardashians or the Real Housewives or soap operas. And I think the correct disposition towards everything we're fed in the media landscape nowadays is to just, call BS on the front end and then discern what is the truth later on. So you just, like George Carlin says, anything coming from the government or the media, I instantly discard and then try to form my own conclusions. So I love delving into all those things, and as an actor, your job is to suspend your disbelief. And I use that when I'm exploring different ideas, and I suspend my disbelief and say, well, what if that was true? What if what these people believe was true? How would it be true? How would it impact my day? And I can tell you, after 20 years of deep study in it, generally speaking, none of it impacts your day. Most of the days you just have to love your kids and try not to be a dick, and be as happy as you can, do your chores, make your bed, like all that stuff matters way more than whether or not reptoids are controlling the government, which they definitely
you had me up until make your bed, up until make your bed, you had me. And then you lost me, man. You lost me. I'm kind of one of those.
What's frustrating for me is our cat sleeps with us at night. And he sleeps, he's still there when I wake up in the morning. And I, as a human being, made it my habit, my ritual to make my bed every morning. That's a thing I've done since I was in junior high. It's how I read somewhere, it was like some self-help person was like, people who make their bed are more successful. So like from 7th grade on, I make my bed every single morning. And now we got this stupid cat that I love who sits in the bed and doesn't doesn't. So I kind of try to make it without disturb, but I don't want to like flip
Right.
him off the bed because the bed's not making the bed's not important, more important than the cat. So I'm frustrated. The last 5 or 6 years with this cat, I haven't been able to make my bed every morning.
Oh my goodness. Darn that cat. I have a cat that
Curse you,
sleeps with
trouble.
me. Yeah, I have a cat that sleeps with me, but I don't know if he sleeps with me or because I sleep like with a heated blanket. Because I like my house
Right.
really cold. I breathe better in the cold. So my house is like 67 all the time. So I have,
Right.
a heated blanket. And so I'm pretty sure my cat prefers my heated blanket over me, but
Right.
yeah, no,
We have
I'm
a we have like a mattress topper that can be heated because my wife is a lizard, so she needs to be under a heat lamp, and I
Uh-huh.
am generally need to be frozen. I'm a
love it.
rabbit or something. So
Mhm.
like each side of the bed, my side of the bed is cold and her side of the bed is warm. It's
okay.
really like, as far as purchases I've made in the past 20 years, it's one of the best purchases I've made. Oh,
I'm
yeah,
gonna have to do that. I'm gonna have to tell my husband that because I would like to be warm. I don't know, but I breathe better in the cold. It's the weirdest thing.
My wife and I, we meet at the center, and I'll like stick an elbow on her, and she'll like
Yeah.
touch me. We're like,
Good night.
okay,
Yeah.
good night. Stay on your
I'm
cold
glad
side.
you're
I'll be on my
saying-
warm side.
Exactly. I don't know. I have it. I mean, I think I have like 3 heated blankets throughout my whole house, right? And my daughters have gotten where they love it, but my animals are the worst. So I have
Oh, yeah.
2 dogs and 2 cats, and they think the heated blankets are theirs. They will fight over the heated blankets. It is the craziest thing. I know, of course. They are it's the craziest thing. But you're going to be joining Greg tomorrow at Oklahoma, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I drive in tomorrow morning, Anime, Oklahoma, in Midwest City, Oklahoma, just east of Oklahoma City. I've gotten a lot of people messaging me on Facebook saying they're going to be there. It looks to be like it's going to be a banger show. It's the Queen's dead, so I'm using British terms.
I got your pass.
Oh, look at
right
that.
here.
Is that my guest pass?
Lord.
That is your gift pass.
All
I love
access,
But-
baby. All access.
What-
I love my
One
favorite
thing I do
shows.
want to
Oh, go ahead.
before my internet, like I said, it's bad here right now. But one thing I did want to ask you was about your master class and how can people sign up for that and where can they go for that?
Sure. So I usually sign up. I mean, I've got a couple of ads running on Facebook and on Twitter. And by ads, I mean, I posted a picture my wife made. You can email me at fireflyworks@gmail.com. The masterclass is on Wednesday nights from 6 to 9 p.m. in the Wednesdays in October. And we study dialects. We study acting technique. We study a bunch of different sort of psychological techniques. Excuse me. I have to take a drink. I've run out of spit in my throat. But the class, I've been teaching it for 7 years online. Super effective for people. We do a lot of sort of looking at your habits, because I always say you want to be an actor. Well, you have to have the habits of an actor. What are your habits currently? They're perfect. Let's just add on to them. So it's a subroutine technique. So we look at what you're already doing and we try to just add something to that so that you're not having to like feel like I have to change my life. You just start adding little bits to your life until it starts going the direction you want.
Now we talked about this a little. You call it master class, but it's also good for beginners also, correct?
Yeah, that's a misunderstanding people have sometimes. It's a master class because I am a master. It doesn't mean you have to be a master. I've had, Twitch streamers and YouTubers with millions of followers take the class. I've had professional voice actors take the class. I've had professional New York Broadway people take the class because they're like, I'm an actor, but I want to get into voice work. And we go over all the different places to audition and submit your demos and that the sort of nuts and bolts of how do I make my career start to flourish. But I go from there all the way to people who are, neurodivergent, and they'll be in the same class, like neurodivergent people who sometimes we need communication scaffolding to try to help us work together a little better. But I like the mixture of people because everybody affirms everybody else. You feel affirmed when people respect what you're trying to do, and they give you that affirmation of presence. Like, I'm looking at you, I see you, I hear you, I love what you're doing. So it is definitely for all levels, for sure.
Now, unfortunately, I can't get my Facebook up. A Facebook user had asked, what's your favorite part of being an actor?
Okay, so most actors, this is true almost across the board, that we get into this job because we want to not be ourselves. And a lot of times that comes out of pain. And that's why actors have there's the trope of the actor wearing their heart on the sleeve and they're crazy or whatever. And that's kind of true. We all come from, many of us, I don't say all, many of us come from broken places. And the thing that acting gives us is a relief from being ourselves. I've been acting on stage and in film, television, anime for 35 years now. And I've had to act when people very close to me have died. And I find out 20 minutes before I go on stage. And what acting does is you're heartbroken and traumatized and shocked, but then you have to go do the job. And because you're doing the job well, your brain, moves to that place where you forget everything else. And it's just a little pattern interrupt in your life where you're not yourself anymore. And you always feel better afterwards. And you always feel like it's okay. It's going to be okay. And the other thing that actors do is anything that happens to us, we always have that third eye camera, like, this is what it feels like when your mother dies. This is what it feels like when you see a dead body. This is what it feels like when you rescue someone from a burning car. You're always kind of looking at your life in terms of like, how will I use this as an actor? And so it makes a lot of the pain you go through in life, because what we want as humans is to feel like the pain we're going through is useful somehow. And what you have as an actor is that anytime you are going through that pain, it's useful as a character, as being able to draw on that experience.
Nice.
And of course, I saw this question before it was sent. This is from Lizzie. How did you get the role of Android 17, the cute one?
Android 17. So I walked into the booth the first time recording Android 17, and there was the still on the screen from the video of the episode. And I walked in the booth and I went, oh, who's she? She's totally hot. And they were like, no, dude. Sabbath was like, no, dude, that's your character. And I was like, oh no, I think I'm hot. I was like, oh, it's creepy. But I got the role. I went in to audition for it, and Sabbath was like, I came in like, I'm Android 17. He was like, no, man, no, just relax. Just be yourself. And I was like, I'm Android 7. He's like, no, seriously, just like, don't do anything and just be dead inside. And I was like, I'm Android 17 and I'm going to kill you. And he's like, oh, that's perfect. I love it. And I got the role. I mean, I think he already knew he wanted me for the role, but his direction was what made that character so interesting, because I got to do absolutely nothing inside and just talk. And as an actor in anime, you never get to do that. You never get to be the guy who's like, I mean, especially in DBZ. In DBZ, people are like, it's famous story, Sean Schimmel passing out from screaming so hard. Those guys have to like battle it out. Android 17 doesn't do any of that. He did a little bit in Super. I had to get a little bit of my, abdominal work in for Android 17 doing Super. But during the regular DBZ series, him and the Piccolo fight, Piccolo's like, and Android 17, his arms are moving just as fast, but he just has no reaction. He's just fighting. And we'd listen to it and listen to see if we hear anything in the Japanese. And when we didn't, he'd be like, okay, man, I guess you don't say anything during that whole fight. I was like, awesome. I don't have to do any work, which is nice as a anime voice actor in DBZ.
Nice.
So you get to be quiet.
I do. I get to just chill. Android 17's probably the chillest character in the whole DBZ canon.
So, out of all the characters that you've done, which one do you think is a fan favorite?
Well, Android 17, of course, is probably the biggest character I've ever done. Maybe will ever do. You never know. There may be another property that comes up, but DBZ has been going on for 25 years now. So it would be hard to top that. I'd have to somehow make it as an anime voice actor till I'm like 85. I don't think that's going to happen. But other than that, Yu Yu Hakusho Hiei, probably one of my favorites. And he's a favorite because the very first time, the story I told, she was a Hiei fan, and a bunch of those people in line were fans of Yu Yu Hakusho because it was a pretty hot anime at the time we went to it. So a lot of the first fans I met were Hiei fans. And so he's a favorite. Dr. Stein is a favorite of mine. He had a really great character arc. Got to have a lot of sort of emotional catharsis. A fan least favorite is Shao Tucker from Full Metal Alchemist. People hate that character, and I love how much they hate the character because they'll cry, they'll get angry at me, they'll pound their fist on the table like, "Why did you do that?" And I'm like, "It was written that way, and I got paid." And they cry. And I'm like, sorry, I destroyed your soul.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going back through the questions, and I see one that says, "I want to book you for my show." I'm going to assume that that's Mish.
Yeah. I
Sure.
think so.
Book me. Fireflyworks@gmail.com. Just like it sounds. Fireflyworks@gmail.com. Send me an email. I'll book it. I check my dates. I say yes, and then we're done. It's pretty simple.
Wow. I love it.
Right, Greg? It's pretty simple. Isn't it pretty simple to book
Yes,
me?
it is. Yes,
Yeah.
it is. And actually, can't wait to see you. It is tomorrow, right? I don't even know what day
Yes,
it is.
right.
It is tomorrow.
Is
That's
Friday.
a long drive to Houston.
Oh,
It is a long
Greg.
drive from Houston.
Greg. You're fine.
I got
I
a 3-hour
thought
drive
it
tomorrow. I
was-
think I'm going to leave at like 7. I don't know. Try to get there by 10. Get settled in. What time does it start? Does the show start at 12 tomorrow? Is that what time it starts?
Was it 12 or was
1?
it noon? I don't. Man, you
12
gotta make
is
me.
noon,
You know,
Greg.
12 and
Is
noon are the same thing in this universe. Greg's from a
Did I
different
say 12
universe
and
where
noon?
it goes
I
I
11,
said 2.
12, noon, 1.
Right.
VIP.
There's an extra hour.
VIP entries at 1:30.
Oh, sweet. I got till 1:30 to start. Awesome.
So, yeah, so it starts at 2, I guess.
All right. Good.
1:30.
Good. I can.
I think it ends
I
at
can,
2 a.m. though.
Oh.
Woo, I'll be done way before 2 a.m. I'm sorry to say that. I am.
Hey, me too, man. I can't make it to, I'm doing good to make it to midnight. I'm not even going to lie. I'm
Right?
doing good. But
No.
nothing good happens after midnight. I mean, only trouble. So
Well,
I'm good.
some of the trouble after midnight can be fun.
Are you one of those?
But-
Are you one of those Cinderella people, Amy? You turn?
No, I don't turn, but I will tell you, I'm not even gonna lie. I will get bitchy after midnight, and I'm tired. It's fair game. If you can put up with me afterwards, I love you. If not, I get it because I wouldn't put up with myself. That's why I go to bed. So no, I'm not gonna
me too.
lie. It's legit. It's the truth.
Generally speaking, 9 o'clock, I'm in bed, not necessarily going to sleep. Yes, 9 o'clock,
Okay.
and then I'll go to sleep by like 10. But 9 o'clock in bed, just sort of focusing
God.
on
Yeah.
an audio book or my Kindle or something.
Yeah.
Just
You
chilling.
are my people, man. I'm in bed relaxing and between like 9:30 and 10. And I'll probably fall asleep between like 10:30 and 11. Like I can't. I have 2 little kids and they're up early and I'm doing good. The greatest success sometimes at the end of the day is that they're still alive. Honestly, that's my biggest triumph
That's
of the
it.
day. Time.
That's the whole thing, the whole
Yeah.
deal.
You
Like
should-
I
you
tell
should have heard her
people,
today.
oh, go Greg.
Oh, she even had to ask us not to call CPS on her today.
I did in my mind, my child was going places in my mind. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It's the truth. Every parent knows this feeling. Every
Well,
single one of them know.
I was going to say, I tell people if you want to become a better person, or if you want to see if you're capable of becoming a better person, have a child. Because all parents know there is that moment with that, you got that baby, right? And you got that moment and they've been colicky and it's 3 a.m. and it's like, I'm either going to become a better person or I'm going to kill a baby.
Exactly.
So, like, I either kill this baby or I learn more patience.
Yeah.
And so you're like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to shake you, but I'm going to shake you in my mind.
Right?
Oh.
Oh my gosh, my mind is a dark place sometimes. I'm telling you, I got to go sit in my closet sometimes. I'm like, I need a break.
I haven't seen those years in 28.
Oh.
It's been 28
Yeah.
years.
Listen, Greg, I will help you kidnap a baby this weekend so you can have that experience again.
You know, I
There's
like
nothing
it.
like a
You're
little
gonna
kid.
return it.
Wonder how far we
You're
can
gonna
get to the
return it. It'll
border.
be okay.
No, we're not going to return it. We're going to commit a felony this weekend, Greg. Everyone, Anime Oklahoma, come on out. Watch Greg steal a baby.
Did you have to say it on live?
Man, I
Man,
like how he's
Now-
saying you're gonna
now
do
if
it.
anything
That's the best
happens,
part.
they're going
He's
to come
saying
after us.
you. No, Greg.
I'm
he's
not doing
saying
anything.
you
Greg's
are.
going to jail. That's what I'm saying.
I love this. Oh, I love this. I love
That's okay.
this.
That's okay.
Come to Anime
Amy
Oklahoma.
said that
Watch
she would
Greg get
bail me
arrested.
out. What? Amy said that she would bail me out no matter what.
I
So
would,
good.
but I mean, I don't know. No, this is too good. Like, this is too funny that I may make you. I may pull a Josh and make you sitting there for a day or two just because it's funny.
That's
I
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
just
I tell
might.
all my children, don't say anything. Also, you're going to sit there for a night.
I love y'all.
Just facts.
I love y'all.
Yeah, I know. If you want me to be your one phone call, make sure it's the next day. Okay, not the same day because I ain't coming to get you. You can wait. You can wait.
Actual disclaimer, there will be no kidnapping at Anime Oklahoma.
No, there will be none unless Greg goes, crazy. Who knows?
It's possible. It's
Yeah.
possible.
No.
He's a wild
I wouldn't
man.
go that
He's
crazy.
wild. You just never know with Greg.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, don't
Yeah,
know.
that's me. Well, I'm probably sitting in Chuck's chair right now, so
What?
Oh. How
You
dare
better
you?
not be
I'm sitting-
farting.
I'm with the guest right now.
He is. You know he is. How dare you sit in his throne? That's awful.
Farting in my chair.
Oh, I love it. It's true. We all know. We were all thinking it,
Oh,
Greg.
man.
We just said it. Okay. We were all thinking it. Though. We know the truth.
No, gotta
It's
lift
okay.
up a little.
This is me. This is me with my chair tomorrow.
Hey, you know what? You could bottle them and sell them on OnlyFans. You'd probably make some money. I'm just saying.
Don't start. Don't.
The good
It's
thing
not
is
gonna-
it's either going to smell good or it's going to smell like The Walking Dead. Your choice.
That's true.
Oh,
That's true.
why do you have to throw The Walking Dead in there? That is like my show, and you just ruined it. You literally just ruined my show. That is so wrong on so many
What do
levels.
you think zombies smell like? Come on
No,
now.
I know, but I don't want to know that comes from you.
You
I
think
don't
they
need to
smell
know that.
sweet like roses?
No, but
They're
now that
corpses.
all
Come
I'm
on
gonna
now.
picture now when I see a zombie is, oh, Greg farted on it again. That's what I'm gonna think. So we can't do that. Like you've just ruined a zombie for me, Greg.
Oh, someone should really make a sexy zombie movie where zombies are like super sexy, and instead of them chasing you, you're like attracted to them, and you try not to get siren called to them, and you end up being like
Oh,
sexy
yeah.
zombies
I
with
don't
them.
know if you know.
I
Matt
think that's called
Burns.
porn, but never mind.
That would be a weird
There's
porn,
somebody
though. It's
named
kind
Matt
of weird.
Burns, who I think actually did something like that. Him and a group of people actually did something like that.
Oh, really?
I'll have to look that up for you. It's not. It's not
the-
a porn, but it's like a zombie flick like that.
Sexy zombie. There was probably the best take on the zombie genre I've seen was Love, Death, and Robots had an episode. Have you guys seen that? Love, Death, and
No.
Robots. It's on Netflix. It's genius. It's like 11 different animators animating, and there's one called like Tiny Zombies, and they do that through the tilt shift miniaturization like animation, so it's all miniaturized. So they do a whole zombie apocalypse, but
Nice.
it's all miniaturized. It is brilliant. It's one of my favorites.
Nice. I'm gonna have to watch that because
Oh, it's great.
love zombies. Zombies are my thing.
The whole thing is fantastic.
I love it. I'm gonna have to do that.
Love, Death, and Robots.
There's
The
a-
whole series is amazing.
Okay.
There's a
Okay.
bunch that I have to watch this year. I don't know if I'm going to make it through the year watching all these. I have a bunch to catch up on.
There's a lot to watch.
I still haven't even seen Obi-Wan.
Neither have I. Neither
Shame
have I.
on both. That is a sin. That is a sin.
Well, the problem is Disney Plus is only on the living room television because we can't have it on all the machines. I think we're stealing it from my sister-in-law. I don't know. Don't Disney. I love you. Please hire me for your movies. I'll pay you $9.99 a month. But it's only on that one. So and that gets occupied by the children. If I want to watch some, my family has this horrible habit. They like to talk through things, and I can't watch a movie if there's any discussion happening. And so I will watch with the family, and it's the experience of being with the family, but I have to have already seen the film or whatever. Like, God forbid there's something comes out that I like and want to see on the big TV because I'll have to do it when everybody's gone.
Yeah. So you wouldn't like watching the movie with me because I am like, oh, in that scary movie, I think it's the first one, like she takes that phone call and she's like, hey girl, and like she's in the middle of a movie. I don't do that, but I will be like, what? No, don't run. Don't do that. You're going to die. I am very much that person. I don't know why, but I just am. So you don't want to watch a movie with me. I'm so sorry. We can't bond over a movie, but
that's all right. That's all right.
Yeah.
It's like when they're running, it's like, okay, what are they going to trip over? You know something's going to happen.
Something always happens.
The way it is.
It's true.
And then, of course, they always run upstairs and lock themselves in the bathroom. Hello?
It's a very comforting place. I mean, it's a true statement. It's very comforting. My bathroom is very comforting for me. I don't know why, but it is. So I totally understand. Now, if anyone tried to murder me, my bathroom is like the furthest place from the front door. So I'm going to die either way, but I may go there because it's just comforting.
If anyone tried to murder me, I would pull out my 9mm and shoot them back.
Okay.
I am typically strapped, just FYI.
Nice. So you're the kind of person I want to be around. I'm going to feel safe. Okay, I like that.
I've had to pull my gun one time in 30 years, and that was I walked home into my apartment in Chicago, and I was like, why is the TV gone? Who's in my roommate's room? And somebody popped out of my roommate's room, like holding his turntable. That's how long ago it was. Holding his turntable. And I went, this is wrong. And I pulled my gun and pointed it at them. And it was him and another guy, and they ran out of my apartment. And I've only had to pull it once, and I was very happy I had it, because what would have happened at that moment if I didn't have that is I would have walked out of the apartment and let them take everything, which would have sucked. But yeah,
sorry, I'm
not
in
a
the
big
wrong
gun
room.
guy, but I am a big Oh, are you? Oh, the dude. Yes, he was in the wrong room.
Yeah.
Or me, I would have been like, I'm in the wrong room. But yeah, I'm typically packing heat because I don't think I need security. I am my own security.
Nice. I like that.
There we go.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's Texas.
There we go.
Yeah.
Well, I know you got a little bit of a drive tomorrow. I got to finish setting up and getting everything ready here. So I do want to thank you for coming on.
Hey, it's been a lot of fun. You guys are really a lot of fun, for sure.
Oh, yay. This isn't so much
And I
fun
love
for
that
me.
we ended on me packing heat. I hope that gives me like a street cred somewhere.
That's the best way to end it right there.
Yeah.
Especially
I absolutely love it.
especially a
All right,
Texas
everybody, come
podcast.
see me at Anime Oklahoma. It's going to be a blast, and Greg's totally going to steal a baby.
He is, but it has been so nice. I'm so glad I could be on and kind of fill in temporarily for Greg, and I got to meet you because this has been
Yeah, it's great
such a
talking to
fun
you.
conversation. So until
Absolutely.
next time, you guys, make sure that you check out all of the photos and lives that Greg's going to be doing at Anime Houston. But until next time, you guys, bye everybody.
Anime Houston.